Hello my friends, my name is Tim Johnson. People talk a lot about relapse, about it not being a failure, but let me tell you, if you've got a lot of clean time in, as I had like 4 years of clean time in, then it's very difficult not to process any sort of slip as a failure. And that's okay, because having been someone who's relapsed quite a lot of times in my life, that's okay. I think the most important thing of all is the lessons you learn from that slip, relapse, whatever you want to call it. And let me tell you, this time I've learned plenty, and I want to pass those on to you, and I want to tell you how to move forward, how to get strong again, and how to get back on the right track again, if you like. Because these things happen, and it's important to understand why they happen, but it's also important to stop them and stamp on them quickly, and not get too demoralized and get stuck in again. I just want to let you know that, everyone that watches this channel, that I'm back to normal again, if you like, as normal as I can be, and I am strong again, both physically and mentally. But it's taken me 2 or 3 weeks to get to the stage where I want to make this video, and I've had help doing that, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Lessons learned. Let me. These aren't in any sort of order of importance, if you like. They're just as they slip into my brain. But the first thing that sort of dawns on me is how quickly we forget. How quickly we forget the speed of the descent. Let me tell you, once you go back onto whatever you're on, whatever your substance of choice is, how quickly we descend back into that darkness again, and how quickly it escalates, and how quickly we alienate ourselves, isolate ourselves, even in this current isolation situation, which I'll come on to in a second. How quickly we hurt those who mean the most to us, how quickly we become selfish again, how quickly we hurt ourselves, become ill physically, mentally, spiritually. It's frightening how quickly it happens. And also we forget how painful it is to dig ourselves out of that shit again, how painful it is to withdraw, because every time you go through this, it is harder on your body, your mind, in every way, and more painful, let me tell you, because for me this time was the hardest, getting out of this. And I wasn't on it for a long time, it was literally a couple of weeks, if you like, and oh God, it was painful coming out of it. And we forget how quickly we descend into this darkness, and if we don't nip it in the bud, if we don't deal with it, we'll die. It will overwhelm us. So that's the first lesson I learned. Don't forget, how it doesn't matter whether you've got 6 months a day clean, 6 months clean, 10 years clean. Don't forget how painful it is and how quickly we descend into the madness and the darkness. The second lesson I've learned is don't forget gratitude. Because I was away on this Camino de Santiago, and I was pushing myself mentally and physically in every way, but I forgot gratitude. And I forgot gratitude when I had to give up because of the coronavirus and coming back and isolation. I forgot about gratitude. And it's so important to remember what you're grateful for, and just writing that down every day if that's what it takes, or even saying it in your head, because that's mentally the thing that keeps you on track, more positive, and keeps you moving forward. That gratitude, that constant gratitude, realizing how lucky you are to have your health, to have your family, to have your, whatever you've got, to have a roof over your head, to have food, water, whatever it is, however small it is. Don't forget that. The third thing is goals. For me, goals keep me moving forward. They keep me being creative. They keep me wanting to get out of bed in the morning, if you like, and move forward. I'd given 5 months of my life, if you like, towards this Camino de Santiago challenge. I trained hard for 5 months. It had kept me motivated and moving forward. And also, you know, the what was behind that, you know, my family put, you know, that what they contributed to it, the equipment, the money that had gone into it, the planning that had gone into it, the sheer effort, and also the charity that was behind it, everything, you know, and that goal was massive. But it doesn't matter how big or small the goals are, you know, but once you leave that goal behind, and for me, you see, giving up that goal, having to quit that goal, demoralized me. But I wasn't watching myself, I wasn't watching my mind, I wasn't vigilant, and the feelings of demoralization and defeat overwhelmed me, and literally I sought solace in the pills. And you know, I didn't even realize I was doing it at the time. That's the frightening thing. You don't realize that it's creeping up on you, and it's overwhelming you. But goals are so important to keep us moving forward, to keep us motivated, to give us, you know, strength, if you like. I've also learnt from this relapse that how important to dig yourself out of it support is. Now, I'm blessed because I have a very loving family, and particularly in this case, my oldest daughter, who, because we're isolated during the coronavirus, has supported me constantly over this past 3 weeks by video chat on a daily basis, constantly supporting me, motivating me. And I'm blessed to have family, and the rest of my family have supported me as well, obviously. But it doesn't, you know, if you haven't got family, or you haven't got people that can support you, there are groups, there are AA, there, you know, talk to anybody. But you need help to dig yourself out of this shit. You can't dig yourself out of it on your own. You need some encouragement, some motivation, some strength from outside yourself, and you have to pull it from those you love, or other people, or groups, or AA, or whatever it is. You need that support to dig yourself out of trouble, and to get you back onto get your mind back into the right frame again, to you know, just to start the ball rolling. And another lesson learned is, again, and I reiterate this on my channel those of you who follow it will know time and time again, the importance of movement, exercise and diet to dig yourself out of this. You know, it does take, you know, I was seriously sick a week or two ago, you know, and trying to get through this, and it's demoralizing, and you think it'll never end, and every second seems like a lifetime. You know, I'm not going to go into the dirty details. There are videos on this channel about withdrawal and getting through it and all the rest of it, but every second seems like a lifetime. But the things that get you through the you know, at the end of the day are just getting good quality food down yourself again, slowly but surely, and starting to move your body again, slowly but surely. And I'm telling you, and you know, the effort of that is awful for those first hours, days, whatever you want to say. You know, to keep food down is an effort. To move your body out of a bed is an effort. But those small steps just to move you forward, you know, and I know it's not easy for some of you to get out and to get decent food, particularly at this current time. But you just have to do the best you can, or get your friends to get it, or people you know, your neighbours, or whoever. You know, you just have to get through the best you can. You know, as I did. I mean, I had 3 days where I hardly ate anything, I have to say. I was lucky enough to have a little bit of food in the larder, but it wasn't particularly good quality in those first 3 days. But as soon as I had enough energy to get myself moving again, I got down the shops and I bought decent grub, you know, just to get my body moving again. and just to get some nourishment within it, and plenty of water, obviously, and fluid, salts. Don't forget your rehydration salts either. You know, your sodium, your potassium, and all those sort of things. Not much potassium, obviously, but sodium, potassium. But there's a little rehydration packs you can buy. But that's important if you're drinking a lot of water and not a lot of food. And also movement, just getting yourself out of bed, moving around a bit, starting to exercise, getting a bit of fresh air. You know, as soon as I was able, I was starting to stretch and move again, and that got me motivated and moving forward. And now, like today, I've been out and had a 2-hour walk around. I've been shopping because obviously the isolation thing's still in, but the shopping circle I go in is a long one. There's lots of hills and stuff, and there's no people about. So I'm okay to do that. Not all of you will be as lucky as that, but it doesn't stop you doing a little indoor exercise and stretching and lifting and or whatever you want to do. And there's some of the lessons I've learned. Probably the most important ones. But I think the most, one of the most important of all is just to remain vigilant. Your head is, your mind is so important, because before you realize it, it will have slipped you back into the darkness. It will have talked you into it, and you won't even realize it's happened. And I had 4 years clean, and I've been making these videos telling everybody how to, to stay strong and move forward. And it happened to me. It can happen to anybody out there, all of you, at any time, at any point in your recovery. And it's important for you to understand that. But it's also important for you to know that you can dig yourself out of it, as I have, with the help and support of people I love, and also sheer willpower and wanting to move forward again, and knowing that you can, and it's not the end, and that these things happen. Yes, they do, and it's difficult to think of it not as a failure, but really it's just you just have to understand why it's happened. But not to dwell on it, but to move forward from it. So I'm going to be making a couple of videos over the next few days about isolation tips during this coronavirus crisis, for addicts in particular, but for anybody really. And please, all of you out there, stay safe. Remain inside, keep to the rules, because this is not over by a long chalk. And we are all in it together. I know that sounds cliche, but we are all in it together. If you're going to communicate, use platforms like Zoom, like FaceTime, whatever it is. Keep in touch with those you love, because it's important when you're isolating not to be lonely. Try and keep talking to people. Remain strong, and carpe diem. Seize each moment, each day, even if you're on your own, stuck inside, whatever it is. There's plenty to keep you moving, keep you creative, and keep you going. Much love to you all. Stay strong, stay well, stay safe. Thank you for listening.